Hey guys, Dave again. Welcome back to the channel. So in this one, holy smokes, there's some major problems brewing in Afghanistan. The way the U.S. is handling it is not going well. It's got our allies calling us out, highlighting our ineffectiveness, and it's also starting to make them question our current administration. Okay, so let's get into what's going on. So we're going to first look at an article from France 24, which is a paper out of France. It starts to highlight what's going on inside of Afghanistan. So the Taliban have already started seizing back territory. The U.S. hasn't even left yet. We've only withdrawn 6 to 12% of our forces. So if we come down into this, we're going to leave the Afghan security forces to deal with this mess. They're going to be the guys on the ground. The U.S. won't be there. The security and defense forces made a tactical retreat from police headquarters in that district, whatever that word is, Nurka? I don't know. But basically, the Afghan security forces had to abandon a district with 60,000 people in it. It was taken over by the Taliban, and we're not even gone yet. So, as you can see down here, the Defense Ministry on Wednesday said it would launch an offensive to try to win back the district. The article goes on to say that the Taliban are smart in that they're not engaging the U.S. forces. So, the Afghani people have called in the U.S. forces to help try to secure some of these areas. It's not really working at this point because we've withdrawn so many troops. But just on Saturday, the Taliban, again, are already attacking their own people. More than 50 people were killed and scores wounded in a western district of the capital when 3 bombs went off. Like, what do you think is going to happen when we leave? These poor people are just going to be left to the wolves. Just absolute disaster. Another failed policy, another just train wreck of a war. We talked about it in the Five Eyes article, or video, excuse me, where again, we go into one of these areas, we disrupt a bunch of stuff and then just leave chaos in our wake. So, and it's not just France that's seeing this. And I want to play a clip for you from Sky News in Australia. So in this one, they go ahead and they highlight what's going on in Afghanistan. And they actually bring to light a whole nother scenario that no one's talking about outside of these guys. So let's get into this real quick. I'll play it for you.
But now to Australia, because one of the biggest issues Biden now faces is the US pullout from Afghanistan by September 11. That'll leave 17,000 Afghan interpreters who've risked their lives working for the US military and are now trying to leave the war-torn country ahead of Biden's September 11 deadline when remaining US forces will be withdrawn. Now understand me, these are Afghan interpreters who've been helping us in Afghanistan. The Republican Michael McCaul got it right when he said, and I quote, "These interpreters have a bullseye on their backs," unquote. "We have a duty and a moral responsibility to protect them from the Taliban and Al-Qaeda," warned Republican McCaul. "If we do not give them special immigrant visas, they'll be left behind and slaughtered by the enemy," unquote. President Obama's very ambassador to Afghanistan, Ryan Crocker, addressed the issue in the New York Times when he said, "The Taliban view them as traitors," unquote. This is Obama's ambassador to Afghanistan. But in Biden's advanced state of cognitive decline, Biden wouldn't have a clue. Says Crocker, since 2014, there have been at least 300 targeted killings of people who worked with us. Now they worked with American troops and our troops. He went on, "Many more will die if the administration doesn't take immediate steps to speed up the process and get them out safely," unquote. The Republican Mike Waltz, who served multiple tours in Afghanistan, said, quote, "They're being hunted down right now as we speak. They are reaching out to me, these interpreters, in a panic." Well, what's Biden's response? Of a handful of days ago, according to his defense secretary, there is no plan for evacuation. In other words, a pathetically weak and left-wing American administration under Biden has made no decision, in spite of multiple warnings as to how to protect these translators and their families after the US withdrawal is complete. Which brings us back to this Brereton report. Our men too were in Afghanistan, facing murderers and killers. Our men too had a bullseye on their backs. And now, because of Brereton and unproven evidence, our soldiers are being hung out to dry by people who've never fired a shot in anger. It is clear that the Biden administration and those in politics and the defence hierarchy in Australia who are happy to accept the Brereton reporter's brutal truths have one thing in common. Yep, we've got one thing in common with the Biden administration: the abandonment of those sent to serve, and now the abandonment of people like the Afghan interpreters who assisted greatly in that service.
So if we're going to take in thousands of refugees on the southern border, why can't we bring in these people and why can't we help them out? I don't understand. There's more than enough room. You know, they've served us, they've helped us, they've been with us in this, what's it, like a 20-year war now? I mean, even our allies are mad that we're leaving these people out to dry. And, you know, it's shameful and it's terrible. Like, we just shouldn't be doing this. You know, you hear it from even Obama's former people are talking about this. So, and I'm going to play a clip for you now, sort of these types of actions are driving the narrative for the administration with our allies. Wait till you watch this clip and see what they think of him.
Of course, there is a further threat to Western democracy, and that lies in the weakness and incoherence of the 78-year-old US president who can't deliver a sentence without notes or a teleprompter. Just have a look at this bloke. Now, we can't be serious that this is the leader of the Western world. Do you think he knows anything about China?
The way China will respond is when we gather the rest of the world that, in fact, believes in open trade and making sure that we're in a position that the world that we deal with WHO the right way. That in fact, that's when things began to change. I looked at it anyway. That's what I think my plan. I know what my plan does.
Senator, I mean, but I mean, it's not about. I know you're supporting by saying booing.
That's why I've made it a priority my entire career to work closely with you. From the time I got to the Senate 180 years ago, as well as my tenure as vice president.
From the time I entered the Senate 180 years ago and my 10 years as vice president. This is elder abuse. The man should go. But what is just as bad is that all we get from a new Biden administration, brainwashed by the left, they can't trot out anything to him and he'll say what he likes. It's just woke nonsense. And should Biden go, of course, as he surely must, Kamala Harris would be worse.
Our allies know this is wrong. They can see this. I know we went in for oil. We always go in for oil. But these people bought into this. They helped us out. Be a leader for once. Do the right thing for once. If we're going to bring in refugees anyway, like, bring these people home. Bring them here. Do not leave them to die at the hands of the Taliban. For God's sakes, like, this shouldn't be this hard. Fix this. Get this straight. Embarrassing, saddening, disheartening. But that's America today. So, all right. Sorry for the bad news again. I'll catch you guys in the next one.